Hello guys, in this lecture we are going to see magnetic anisotropy and magnetostriction. Let's start with magnetic anisotropy. In single crystal magnetic material such as iron is the best example of single crystal magnetic material. In this material, the magnetic properties depends on the direction in which they are measured. That is, iron exhibits preferred direction of magnetization. Iron exhibits preferred direction of magnetization. In the absence of external magnetic field and the spontaneous magnetization take place around the material and specific in the specific direction with respect to crystal axis. In iron, there are 6 equivalent preferred easy directions. 6 preferred easy directions. One of that is nothing but cube edge. In this figure, you can see a cube is shown. This is a one of a crystal structure, that is cubic structure, and here also shown with the easy directions, medium directions, and hard directions. You can judge that which one is the easy, which one is medium, and which one is hard. If you are looking for easy, simply this direction is nothing but easy direction. So from this point to this point. Also, you can consider that from this point to this direction is also easy direction. And from this point to this edge is also easy direction. This is concerned with the distance between the two edges. Simply, it is nothing but a hint from my side. If what about the medium as compared to this directions, this one and this one and this one, this direction is much higher or much having a distance more distance as compared to others. So this is also, this you can say that this is medium direction, medium magnetization direction. And this can be also from this corner to this corner, this direction also can be a medium magnetization. Okay. And hardest means hard direction, hard magnetizing direction is nothing but having a more distance between the two edges. So simply you can see here from this edge to this edge having a more distance. So in this direction from this edge to this edge, this is nothing but hard magnetizing direction. This phenomena is called as magnetocrystalline anisotropy. This phenomenon is called as magnetocrystalline anisotropy. Magnetization curve in the different direction of an iron single crystal are shown in this figure. You can also see here the curves, BH curve is shown. This is for hard magnetization direction, this for medium direction, and this for easy direction. In some polycrystalline material, the various crystals are oriented more or less at random, and properties in different direction are not greatly different. If you are comparing the single crystalline and polycrystalline, properties of different direction is nearly about the same for different directions. There is no any great difference between the properties of each directions. In many materials which have been subjected to specific treatment such as cold rolling. If you are applying the cold rolling, simply means specific treatment you are doing on the material, then the properties or the orientation of directions and distributions may be changed. So some regularity in the distribution of orientation makes the magnetic properties of material markedly anisotropic. This is called as induced anisotropy. Simply, you can say that if you are applying a special treatment or specific treatment like cold rolling or hot rolling, then orientation of the material will change. So, in the sense that the magnetic properties of the material also markedly change. That markedly anisotropy is called as induced anisotropy. And best example of induced anisotropy is nothing but nickel ferrum. Ferrum is nothing but Fe. It is nothing but the iron. Ferrum is a lattice word. It is nothing but a lattice word. Ferrum. So it is iron is indicated with Fe. It is having a 26th number in periodic table. If you are combining the nickel and iron and making and forming a compound alloy, the film of that alloy is nothing but induced anisotropy. This is the best example of induced anisotropy. Thin film of the nickel ferrum alloy deposited on the substrate by evaporation in vacuum with magnetic field applied in the plane of the substrate and have subsequently easy direction for spontaneous magnetization as the original field direction. This is the another example of induced anisotropy, and thin magnetic films are used as storage element in the computers. In bulk materials, there are three basic methods of which the uniaxial anisotropy can be induced. What is a uniaxial? Simply, this is the one crystal. This is a single crystal. In polycrystal, number of crystals are there, and they are having some direction. Suppose you are considering this easy direction, then each crystal should be have this easy directions. Means all the crystals edges having easy directions. Then you can say that all are in same direction and in one axis direction. That is called as uniaxial anisotropy. And to make the material uniaxial anisotropy, there are three methods. First one is cold working. Cold working, it is a simple method. Particularly, it is with cold rolling. Uniaxial anisotropy is induced in the direction of rolling. Okay, this is a cold rolling method. Simply, it is applying with the cold rolling without presence of magnetic field. Second, magnetic annealing. This is the heat treatment of a material. Simply, you can say magnetic annealing is nothing but annealing is related with the heat treatment, and magnetic it is related with the magnetic field. So, this process you can say that heat treatment of material in a magnetic field produces a uniaxial anisotropy related to field direction. So simply you can say if you are placing any one of the material in magnetic field and you are applying the heat treatment, then that process produces uniaxial anisotropy material, and the direction of that anisotropy is in the field of magnetic field. Is in the direction of magnetic field. And third one, magnetic quenching. Magnetic quenching is the cooled in presence of magnetic field through the Carrier temperature. Through the Carrier temperature. Actually, material is cooled in the presence of magnetic field at a particular temperature. That temperature is called as Carrier temperature and leading a uniaxial anisotropy, either parallel or perpendicular to the field direction. If I am comparing last two, it is these two methods are exactly opposite. Common thing is that in between that, this both the process or both the methods are applied in the presence of magnetic field, and the first one is without magnetic field. Just in the second method, keeping the material in magnetic field and applying the heating process, and in the last method having same material have to keep in magnetic field, but you have to cool the material at a temperature, particular temperature. That temperature is called as current temperature. And the direction of this in the magnetic annealing, the direction of the anisotropy is in the direction of magnetic field. Here, same or maybe perpendicular to the magnetic field directions. This is about magnetic anisotropy. Let's see magnetostriction. What is magnetostriction? When ferromagnetic material is magnetized, then changes in physical dimension, this phenomena is known as magnetostriction. Just I am repeating once again, what is the magnetostriction? When ferromagnetic material is magnetized, then physical dimension may be changed. If changed, then this phenomena is known as magnetostriction. There are three types of magnetostriction is referred to. First is longitudinal magnetostriction. Longitudinal magnetostriction is change in the length in the direction of magnetization. This change may be increase or decrease in length. This change may be increase or decrease in length. So that's why it is called as longitudinal. Second, transverse magnetostriction. It is nothing but change in direction perpendicular to, generally referred perpendicular to magnetization direction. That's why it is called as transverse magnetostriction. And third one, volume magnetostriction. Simply, it is nothing but change in volume resulting from the above two effects, that longitudinal and transverse. So these are the three types of magnetostrictions. Just I am shortly repeating. Magnetostriction. First is longitudinal magnetostrictions. Longitudinal, change in length simply. Second, transverse magnetostrictions, change in dimensions perpendicular to magnetization direction. And third, volume magnetostriction, change in volume with the result of first two types, longitudinal and transverse. Actually, we are here principally concerned with the Joule effect, or the change in length occurring in the direction of induced magnetostrictions. This change that you can indicate with the delta L in this figure shown here, delta L, that is change in length, divided by original length. change in length divided by original length, then it is called as Joule magnetostriction. Joule magnetostriction, which is indicated by lambda. The symbol is lambda, usually used for this ratio, change in length divided by original length. That is nothing but Joule magnetostriction. This figure shows or illustrates the trends of longitudinal magnetostriction curve in iron. You can see here in iron, cobalt, nickel, and nickel ion. This one. The value of lambda is generally not greater than 30 into 10 raised to minus 6. Not greater than 30 into 10 raised to minus 6. For single crystal, the magnetostriction is different in every crystallographic direction. It has been observed experimentally the nickel and cobalt crystals contract when magnetized in either of three directions of a crystal, and an iron crystal expands when magnetized in the easy direction of magnetization and contracts when magnetized in the hard direction. The converse of magnetostriction effect is called as Villari effect. Villari effect is nothing but it is a change in magnetic susceptibility of a material when subjected to mechanical stress. Means you can say magnetostriction effect and Villari effect both are opposite to each other. The Villari effect is also observed in magnetic material, whereby a longitudinal deformation leads to a change in permeability in direction of applied strain. In general, the material which expands the magnetization will have its permeability raised by a tensile strain, whereas for a negative lambda material, an externally applied pull reduces the permeability. Magnetostriction has largely of theoretical interest and of limited practical applications. There have been some applications to high frequency oscillators and to generators of supersound. Magnetostriction is also used for underwater sound projects and sound detectors. The magnetic permeability is related to magnetostriction, and for high permeability materials application, an effort is made to keep magnetostriction as low as possible. Thank you very much.